Hello everyone, I hope you all are well. Today we start our new chapter which is Water of Class 6. In this chapter we discuss about importance of water, how much water do we use, and states of water, water cycle. These all topics we discuss in this chapter. Let's get start this chapter. First of all, we discuss about what is water. Water is made up of a tiny molecule of hydrogen and oxygen. Each one is so small that you can't see it even with the most powerful microscope. Pure water has no color, no taste, and doesn't smell of anything. Water exists in three forms on the earth: solid, liquid, and gas. Where can we get water? About 97% of water on the earth's surface is found in oceans and sea. This means about 3% of water is found in river, lake, ponds, cloud, rain, and etc. Our next topic is why do we need water? All plants, animals, and human beings need water to stay alive. But human beings depend on water more than just to stay alive. First one, water is essential for life. Every organism consists mostly of the water. In human body is about 70% of water by weight. Water play a very important role in various life processes like digestion, circulation, and excretion. Water is used in our day-to-day life activities such as bathing, cleaning, washing, etc. to carry nutrients and waste in the body, or to lubricate joints, digestive tract, and body tissues, to cool the body, especially during the period of physical activities. It is also very useful for irrigation purpose. All industries use a large amount of water. Now, our next topic is sources of water. The place from where we get water is called as source of water. For example, water tap, wells, rivers, lakes are some example of source of water. As you know, our earth is covered with 1/3 of the water. Most of this water is in ocean and sea. The water in the oceans and seas have many dissolved salt in it. So, it is not fit for drinking and other domestic, agricultural and industrial need. So, first source of water is rain. As you know, the rainwater is a purest form of natural occurring water. The raindrops in a cloud are almost pure water. However, as the rainwater falls from the clouds, it dissolves gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen from the air. The rainwater also brings with it the smog and dust particle present in the atmosphere. Therefore, the first shower of rain contains many impurities. The next source of water is river and lakes. Mostly cities that develop on river for water. That's why they located on river banks. The amount of water in a river can vary time to time. It depends upon the amount of rainfall over the land, which drains into river, and amount of snow that melts on the mountains. Now, next one is the water present in sea and ocean water. Oceans are the large reservoir of natural water because streams and rivers flow into them. Almost 97% of all water is in the ocean, but this water is so salty to be used for drinking, farming, and manufacturing. These are the few sources of water. One more source is groundwater. Many cities are not near to rivers and lakes. They use water that is stored in underground. So this water comes from rain that seeps into the ground. This is the very important source of water. Now we will discuss about water cycle. What is water cycle? The circulation of water from the earth's surface to the atmosphere and back to the earth is called as water cycle. Water in the sea or on the ground constantly evaporate due to the heat of the sun. Water gets converted into vapors which goes upward in the atmosphere. The water vapors then condense on the dust particles to form clouds. When clouds goes up, they condense into water, which comes down again as a rain. The rain water collects in the sea and other reservoir of water on the land. The water so collected on the sea or on the land again evaporate, rises in the sky and it converted in rainwater. Thus, the water cycle goes on and on. Now, what is evaporation? Evaporation drives the water cycle. Evaporation is the process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas or a vapor state. The sun evaporates the water into the sky. Evaporation continuously moves water from the surface to the atmosphere. Now, condensation. Water vapor in the air gets cool and change back into the liquid, forming a clouds. This is called as condensation. Now, what is precipitation? Precipitation occurs when so much water has condensed that the air cannot hold it anymore. The clouds gets heavy and water falls back to the earth in the form of rain, snow. So, with the help of these three processes, water cycle is going on. This is all about a water cycle. Now, we will talk about flood. The time, duration and amount of rainwater varies place to place. In some part of the world, it rains heavily. But if we talk about India, the most of the rainfall occurs during a monsoon in the month of July, August and September. So, the sowing of the many crops depend upon the arrival of monsoon. So, excessive of the rain may lead to a flooding. Excessive means the level of water rises in a lakes, ponds and rivers. The water then spread over a large area. Flood is the overflowing of a normal confined of the stream or other body of water or the accumulation of water over area that are not normally summarized are called flood. There is very drastic effect of flood on human, animals. What caused flooding? The rising of the water level in the water bodies, heavy rain, snow melting, and dam breaking are the major cause of flooding. Now, we will talk about the effect of flood. Now, we can see the effect of flood. Floods are harmful. They may destroy house and other properties and even carry off the topsoil. So, there is a following drastic effect of flood. First one is human loss, then property loss, effect of on the major roads, spread of waterborne diseases, communication breakdowns, electricity supply cut off, economic and social disruption, increase in air and water pollution. These are the few impact of flood. Now we will talk about the drought. Sometimes it does not rain in a region for a year or more. The soil becomes dry because it continues to lose water by evaporation and transpiration. Water supplies for agriculture, industrial and personal use are greatly reduced. The level of water in the ponds and wells of the region goes down and some of them may even dry up. A drought occurs when there has not been enough rain so that crop and plants can grow, farm animals die and people doesn't have enough to eat. This condition only we can say that it is drought condition. Now we will talk about the effect of drought on soil, on people, on domestic animals and plants. Soil becomes too dry to cultivate any type of crops. The useful microbes also killed. Human beings become die because of poor drinking water. Domestic animals, due to scarcity of water, become unhealthy and their productivity also affected. And they travel to long distance for search of drinking water. On plant, seeds does not germinate. That's why the crop was destroyed. These are the few effects of drought. Now we will talk about the water conservation. How we can conserve the water. What is rainwater harvesting? As you know, we all collect rainwater and store it for a later use. So collecting rainwater for a later use only called as a rainwater harvesting. The basic idea behind the rainwater harvesting is catch water where it falls. So rainwater harvesting is a technology used for collecting and storing rainwater from rooftop and land's surface or rock catchments using a simple technique such as jars and pots as well as more complex techniques such as underground check dams. Rainwater harvesting is accumulation and disposition of rainwater for reuse on site rather than allowing it to run off. Rainwater harvesting can be done in two ways. One is rooftop water harvesting and another one is rain harvesting for open space. Rooftop water harvesting is a system in which rainwater is collected by allowing it to flow from rooftop through pipes in a storage tank. This water may contain some soil particles from the roof, so it should be filtered before use. Alternatively, it is allowed to fall into a pit in a ground to recharge or refill the groundwater. As you see this diagram, like this rooftop water harvesting will done. Rain harvesting from the open space is allow water to go into a ground directly from a roadside drains that collect rainwater. This rainwater may contain certain impurities. So these are the two types through which we can harvest water or conserve water. I hope you understand the topics and use water wisely. So thank you.